very good morning and welcome to the breakfast news on Rajya Sabha television. Well, it is a big day for Uttar Pradesh as the first phase of elections start in western Uttar Pradesh today. All the details on that big story and much more in this bulletin. Let us start with the headlines. First phase elections in Uttar Pradesh today. Over 2.5 crore people to exercise their franchise in 73 constituencies spread over 15 districts. Political uncertainty continues in Tamil Nadu over the race for Chief Minister's seat. Governor adopts wait-and-watch policy as Supreme Court judgment on disproportionate assets case against Sasikala likely next week. Second day of Women's Parliament in Amaravati today. Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu says women will get 33% reservation in Parliament if BJP gets majority in Rajya Sabha. US President considers a new travel ban executive order even as old one flounders in the courts. Trump administration likely to escalate the matter to the Supreme Court. The top story this morning, well, the big battle for Uttar Pradesh has begun. Well, it began a short while ago as the voting began for the first and the biggest phase in which over 2.5 crore voters will cast their votes. Well, in first of the 7 phases, the election is taking place in 73 constituencies of 15 western Uttar Pradesh districts to elect leaders from 839 candidates from 4 main contenders, namely the Samajwadi Party Congress Alliance, the BJP, BSP and the Rashtriya Lok Dal. Among the electorate are 1.17 crore women and 1,508 belonging to the third gender category. Over 26,823 polling stations have been set up. The first phase is expected to see a nail-biting finish with all the parties trying to woo Muslim votes in the districts, including Rai, Teskad, Muzaffarnagar and Shamli. Around 6,000 paramilitary personnel are deployed in all of the 887 polling centres in Muzaffarnagar and Shamli, while other districts going to the polls in this phase are Baghpat, Meerut, Ghaziabad, Noida, Hapur, Bulandshahr, Aligarh, Mathura, Hathras, Agra, Firozabad, Etah and Kasganj. In the 2012 Assembly election, SP and BSP had bagged 24 seats each and BJP had 11 out of the 73. Well, the region is also a stronghold of the Rashtriya Lok Dal or the RLD, which had bagged 9 seats and the Congress had got 5 seats. Well, my colleague Panchanan Mishra is now joining us live from Ghaziabad. Panchanan, now, of course, it is just 1 hour into the voting and the stakes are really high for all the parties this time because this phase is likely to set the tone for the elections in the remaining 6 phases in Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, of course, Ashwara. This first phase polling will decide, you can say, will decide the fate of all the political parties and the momentum which this first phase will be carried on in other remaining 6 phases. But as far as the voting is concerned, here I will try to show you the visuals of one of the polling stations in Vijayanagar of Ghaziabad. You can see good to pretty good turnout here since 7 a.m. in the morning. Yes. And behind me you can see large number of people are queue, women and also young kids, young persons are there to cast their vote, to exercise their franchisee, to elect their leaders. And this is showing that the Election Commission has inspires the local peoples to cast vote in large numbers. This is we are seeing here. But as you said that this election is like a test for BJP, who is contesting this poll on polling agenda of development, and but the demonetization and the surgical strike issues will also be here, and it will be tested. The people are considering BJP for or not. And as far as the alliance of Congress and Samajwadi Party is concerned, it's also very important for them. And this first phase of election, the BSP has so much in the stakes because the most of the Muslim ticket the party distributed is in the first phase itself. So we can say that including all these 3 parties and also RLD, there are many things at stake for all political parties, and this is the election which will decide the fate of all the parties.
Absolutely. You stay with us. Let's go across to Akhilesh Suman, who's also joining us live from Bagpat. Akhilesh, now, as Panchanan was telling us how important this phase of election in Uttar Pradesh is going to be, especially when we talk about BJP, because BJP did very well in this region in 2014 Lok Sabha polls, but as far as 2012 assembly polls were concerned, it was the SP and the BSP who shared 24 seats each. So it is being also considered a big verdict on the demonetization exercise of the Prime Minister.
Yeah, actually you cannot say that it is just the demonetization exercise, because local equations work a lot in assembly elections. And even if Ajit Singh, who is the RLD MP from this area, the two of the seats in this area is with the BSP. One seat, Chaparali, that is called Chaudhary Charan Singh's birthplace, that is RLD. So there are so many permutation and combination in assembly election that one issue cannot be told that this is going to be decisive issue. And you know that this area has also been sensitive as far as the communal harmony and relations are concerned. And there had been riots in Muzaffarpur, and that impact has come here also. So there are Jats are also agitated because of that. Minorities have also been agitated because of that. And presence of Samajwadi Party was very little in this area as far as Bagpat is concerned, though BSP has been present in very big way. So it will be very interesting to see that how far the permutation and combination between BSP, SP and BJP anyway is a force that is coming up very aggressively as far as the central policy is concerned. But in local policy, BJP seems to be in a very defensive mode, and BJP came very late in this area. Even they wanted alliance with Ajit Singh, but Ajit Singh was not ready to have an alliance, even though in the last NDA when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister, Ajit Singh was alliance partner. So you cannot say that it is one issue that is deciding the whole issue. There are so many issues and local equations are going on that will decide this election in this area as far as the 73 assembly elections are concerned.
Absolutely. So it is not just demonetization, but a number of issues, including how the minority voters are going to vote in this particular phase. So thank you so much, Akhilesh, for those details. Let's go across to my colleague Pranav, who's joining us live from Noida now. Pranav, now apart from the larger deciding battle of the political parties, now phase one is also going to decide a number of the fate of a number of political bigwigs and also newbies, of course. Now that you are in Noida, this we have Pankaj Singh, the son of Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh. His, of course, entry into the politics is also going to be decided by this particular phase.
Yeah, you are absolutely right, and this is going to be a battle of prestige for BJP. And in like other parts of Uttar Pradesh, in the Gautam Budh Nagar district where I am standing right now, is also having a triangular fight in this particular district. There are three assembly constituencies which come under the Gautam Budh Nagar, Dadri, Noida and Jewar. And Pankaj Singh is obviously is a big name. We know that he's the son of Home Minister Rajnath Singh, and his competition is with BSP's Ravikant Mishra and Samajwadi Party's Sunil Chaudhary. If I could show you that I am standing right in front of one polling center, and you can see that people have started coming and they have started reaching at polling station. We have got a few voters also. We'll have to just ask that what do you think that what are going to be the major issues in this particular election? क्या मुद्दे होने वाले जो आपको लगता है महत्वपूर्ण है इस चुनाव?
एज अ नोएडा रेसिडेंट मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि जो साफ सफाई और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है उस पर फोकस और रहना चाहिए. यहाँ पर जो रेजिडेंट्स हैं हमारे उनको सुविधा रहनी चाहिए फॉर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, रोड्स एंड जो ट्रैफिक की समस्या है उससे लिए ट्रैफिक जैम्स के लिए हटाने के लिए फ्लाईओवर्स वगैरह का होना.
What do you have to say that what you think that what are the main issues especially for women?
As a resident, I guess there are two issues. One major is obviously security of women, and as a woman I feel unsafe when when there is dark I am unable to have, because it's now it's not like something happening to people very far. मेरे घर के कई लोगों का हो सकता है कि पर्स स्नैचिंग, चेन स्नैचिंग बहुत कॉमन हमारे घर के सामने नोएडा स्टेडियम में कई बार हो चुकी है. तो एक वो इशू तो मेजर है, सिक्योरिटी इशू. एंड सेकेंड आई गेस अगेन और गाड़ियों का चोरी 2-3 बार हो चुका है.
Absolutely.
You can see that voters, especially in Noida,
Right.
we know that Noida is one of the most prominent cities of
Right,
Uttar
of course,
Pradesh.
there are a number of
but,
local issues that
people,
really
voters
dominate
are-
as far as assembly elections are concerned. Now let's go across to Vishal Daya, who's also joining us. He's joining us from Agra. Vishal, as reporters were telling us how important the local elections, local issues are as far as these assembly elections are concerned. But as far as this phase is particularly concerned, we also know that a number of caste, permutations and combinations also come into the picture. And it is really a bitter battle for wooing the minority vote bank because this time BSP has also favored a number of Muslim candidates, and SP Congress Alliance is also giving a number of Muslim faces in 12 constituencies.
Well, yes, indeed, Aishwarya, you're right. In fact, this happens in every election, and specifically in the state of Uttar Pradesh. All the political parties try to put their, caste combination arithmetic in a perfect mode. And whosoever is successful, it is being said that they are, finally able to go ahead and form the government. But the local issues, as my colleagues were pointing out from several areas, are the ones which are dominant on the polling day. The people are now getting a little more vocal about what they actually want, what has been missing in their area since last 5 years, and time and again it has been the practice, and it has been seen that basic amenities, that is the roads, electricity and water amenities, all these facilities, specifically the infrastructure, these are the issues which dominate the elections, and this time around also this has been the issue. Apart from that, Western Uttar Pradesh, the entire Western Uttar Pradesh, which is going to polls in this particular phase, 73 seats are very crucial for all three dominant players, the BJP, the BSP and the Samajwadi Party Congress combined. Everybody would want to go ahead and take a lead in this particular phase because 73 out of 403 is something which is a large figure, and whichever party rather is able to go ahead and take a lead in this particular phase might have that benefit, that advantage in the rest of the phases as well.
Absolutely.
Agra, where we are right now, Aishwarya, it is the largest of the 15 districts which are going to polls today. It has 9 assembly segments, and we have seen how people have come out since morning. There have been queues in the several polling stations of Agra, and that is a clear indication that people are coming out to vote, and the people whom we have spoken to, they are very vocal about local issues. So people seem to be very vigilant this time around about how to cast their vote and what are the issues on which they will cast their vote.
Absolutely. So this is a very crucial phase, and it is not just going to be the litmus test as far as the strategy of all political parties is concerned, but it also have a strong potential really to set the tone for the rest of the phases in Uttar Pradesh. Thank you so much, Vishal, for all those updates. We'll keep coming back to you. And campaigning will continue for the remaining Uttar Pradesh phases and the upcoming Uttarakhand elections. Well, after days of speculation, now Mulayam Singh Yadav will address his first election rally for brother Shivpal Yadav in Jaswant Nagar Assembly constituencies in Etawah. Well, remember, polling in Jaswant Nagar constituency will take place on the 19th of February. As of now, Mulayam Singh is only scheduled to hold only one more rally for his younger daughter-in-law, Aparna Yadav. Meanwhile, a joint roadshow of Rahul Gandhi and Akhilesh Yadav scheduled for Varanasi today stands postponed due to the security concerns amid a heavy rush of pilgrims on the occasion of Ravi Das Jayanti. The roadshow is now scheduled for 17th and 18th of February. However, Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav will address individual rallies in Muradabad, Rampur and Bareilly districts. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also address an election rally in UP's Badaun district, which goes to polls on 15th of February, as well as Uttarakhand's Rudrapur district. Election for where is scheduled for 15th of February. More election-related news in Election Wrap now. 2 days after releasing their party manifestos, alliance partners Congress and Samajwadi Party will release a joint common minimum program in Lucknow today. The 10-point commitment will include a loan waiver for farmers and reduction of power tariffs. Law and order and development issues will also be included in the list. Unlike the last Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections, now statues of elephants, the BSP's bold symbol at parks and memorials in Lucknow and Noida will not be covered this time. Now, this was clarified by CEC Naseem Zaidi under directives by the Supreme Court. The statues were built when Mayawati was the Chief Minister and were covered in the 2012 Assembly polls on the orders of the Election Commission. Meanwhile, miffed over seat distribution, now NDA ally Apna Dal has fielded 4 candidates on BJP seats in Uttar Pradesh. Union Minister Anupriya Patel led Apna Patel will be contesting from Rohania, Chunar, Sevapuri and Marihan Assembly seats. Election Commission appointed surveillance teams have seized 108 crore rupees in cash along with drugs and liquor worth over 45 crore rupees in 3 poll-bound states of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Manipur. According to the latest data, the enforcement agencies have so far recovered 16 lakh liters of liquor worth 45.15 crore rupees and drugs totaling 2,823 kilograms worth 8.86 crore rupees. Let's move on to some other news now. Well, rival camps made competing claims in Tamil Nadu on Friday, even as the Madras High Court expressed concerns over reports that AIADMK MLAs were being held hostage by Party General Secretary VK Sasikala and her aides. Now, reports say that Governor Vidyasagar Rao has now sought reports from the police on the matter, while many MLAs from the Sasikala camp asserted that they are not staying against their concern. The Chief Minister Paneerselvam's faction claimed that the police refused to mark their complaint. Here are all the details.
The AIADMK faction, led by VS Sasikala on Friday, suspended E. Madhusudanan from the primary membership of the party. A prominent party leader, Madhusudanan, had on Thursday announced his decision to back Paneerselvam as the Chief Minister.
He is not elected by the cadres. As per the rule of the MGR, MGR has framed rules. As the rules of the MGR, party cadres can only select the General Secretary.
In another latest twist to the political saga, the Paneerselvam-led government hit back. It told the Madras High Court it was incorrect to say that AIADMK MLAs who were reportedly supporting Party General Secretary VK Sasikala for the Chief Minister's post were not illegally confined. In response, the court took note of the allegations that at least 20 MLAs were refusing to take food and water because they were being held in confinement.
Paneerselvam didn't give any list of MPs, MLAs of support. He didn't stake any claim. He only wants his resignation to be withdrawn, but that has already been accepted. And he has functioned as a caretaker thing. How can you, it's like putting toothpaste back into the toothpaste.
With several petitions filed and questions being raised about them, the MLAs met the media outside the resort where they were staying in Chennai. Stating that they were not birds in a cage, they denied being held hostage.
Governor இப்போ அவங்க எல்லாம் ஒரே ரூம்ல ஒரு காம்பஸ்ல இருக்காங்க அப்படியே சேர்ந்து வந்து நாங்க எப்படாலும் கூப்பலாம்னு வந்திருக்காங்க.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court also refused to give an urgent hearing on a PIL seeking to restrain Sasikala from being sworn in as the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister. It said the hearing will be held in due course after it decides the disproportionate assets case against her within a week. The petition said a law and order situation could develop if Sasikala is indicted after becoming the Chief Minister.
To hear the plea, because Sasikala is not a member of the Legislative Assembly, her appointment as a Chief Minister would be unconstitutional. Not only that, Sasikala convicted in a disproportionate asset case along with Jayalalitha, so against which the Supreme Court has to deliver the judgment. So until the Supreme Court delivers judgment in that case, our appointment would be illegal.
In a major blow to Sasikala, however, the Congress also refused to support the AIADMK General Secretary in her attempt to become the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister. This was after the state BJP said on Thursday that it will support Paneerselvam's continuation as the Chief Minister of the state. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And a first-of-its-kind conclave, the National Women's Parliament, organised by the Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly, began on Friday. Well, the vision of this conclave is to encourage a social, political and economic empowerment of women. Well, speaking at the inaugural session, Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu said that the ruling party would pass the Women's Reservation Bill once it has a majority in Rajya Sabha.
The three-day National Women's Parliament organised by the Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly began in Amaravati on Friday with the theme Empowering Women and Strengthening Democracy. Addressing the gathering, Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu said the legislation providing 33% reservation for women in Parliament and state legislatures would see the light of day after the NDA secures majority in the upper house. Naidu also urged political parties to show conviction in this regard.
What is required is political will and administrative skills. That is the requirement of the hour. And once I can assure you, on behalf of my party, if once I get majority in Rajya Sabha, the Women's Reservation Bill will be passed at the earliest.
Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama also pitched for empowerment of women to build stronger nations.
About 200 nations on this planet, the majority of the nations leaders eventually taken by female, or world may become more safer, more peaceful.
Several speakers at the event underscored the need to educate women to achieve internationally agreed goals for development and sustainability. The event also witnessed the participation of international women dignitaries.
So why should women not take responsibility for ensuring right kind of education for boys and girls? That means re-education of their own as mothers. Their mother at home and their teacher outside the home. So I think the onus is a lot on the woman, how she grooms the boys, how she grooms the girls.
Women empowerment is an essential precondition of inclusive, equitable, participatory and sustainable democracy and development. A robust democracy must create opportunity for inclusion of women in every sector.
The conclave will come out with the Amaravati Declaration on Women Empowerment at the end of the three-day deliberations.
There will be declaration after this. The declaration will be circulated to all policymakers, either Government of India or state governments or some other private organizations, everybody. Then naturally there will be some takers.
There would be 7 plenary sessions at the event with discussions on subjects like socio-political challenges in women empowerment, women's status and decision-making, building own identity and vision for the future.
India is ranked 87th out of 144 countries in global gender gap. In world's largest democracy, women hold only 12% seats in the upper and lower houses of parliament. And National Women's Parliament is an attempt to provide platform for deliberations and encourage social, economic and political empowerment of women. Reporting from Amaravati with camera persons Prashanta and Sudhanshu, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
On to some other news now. Well, India's industrial production contracted by 0.4% in December on the back of demonetization of high-value currencies. Well, in November, the index of industrial production, or the IIP, had grown by 5.7%. At that time, industrial production had bellied all expectations of huge adverse impact of demonetization, with the index rising to a 13-month high. However, the impact of demonetization can be seen in the December figures. Well, manufacturing, which constitutes 3/4 of the index, fell by 2% as compared to the 5.5% rise in November. Electricity generation was up by 6.3% as against a 9% rise in November. Similarly, mining rose by 5.2% in December as against a 4% rise in the previous month. News from the northeast now. In the Nagaland government on Friday appealed to the protesting tribal bodies to lift the indefinite shutdown. Well, the appeal came after the Naga tribal groups threatened to intensify their agitation after Chief Minister T.R. Zeliang refused to give in to their demands for his resignation. Well, the protesting organizations had served a 3-day ultimatum to Zeliang to step down following the government's decision to hold local body elections with a 33% reservation for women. In fact, people were also killed and dozens injured following violence that opposed the decision. Now, since the municipal elections were declared null and void on Thursday, the government urged the agitating groups to take up their offer for a dialogue. And Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar on Friday questioned the benefits of the steps taken by the centre on demonetization, changing his earlier stand on the issue. While slamming the note ban in the decision for the first time, he said it was done without preparation and accused the government and the BJP of indulging in diversionary tactics by changing the narrative. He also asked the Prime Minister if the motive of bringing black money back had been achieved, and he also called on the opposition to put up a united front against the ruling government. Now, Kumar was participating in a panel discussion at former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram's book launch.
इसके बारे में अब तो ये पूछा ही जाना चाहिए कि भाई जो 50 दिन छोड़ दीजिए, अब 80 दिन से भी ज्यादा बीत गया, तो इससे कितना ब्लैक मनी बाहर है, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, आपका जो जितना भी करेंसी सर्कुलेशन में था, तो टोटल हाई डिनोमिनेशन का आपका 500 रुपए का, 1000 रुपए का कितने नोट सर्कुलेशन में थे, और इतने दिनों के बाद कितने वापस बैंकों में आ गए, और फिर जो फेक करेंसी थी उसका क्या हुआ?
Moving on now, well, Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari on Friday termed income inequality as one of the major risks threatening the cohesiveness of the countries. While addressing a gathering in the Hindu group's first conclave in Bangalore, the Vice President stressed that the concept of justice and fairness are tied to the idea of equity in development. He added that inequality also breeds economic inefficiencies and limits productivity. Well, the Vice President said that inequality has grown despite an increase in the number of people coming out of poverty. He said that the richest 1% own 60% of the country's wealth.
Not surprising that reducing inequality is one of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. The richest 1% in India own nearly 60% of the country's total wealth, while the top 20% commanding 80% of the country's total wealth.
On to some international news now. When US President Donald Trump is now considering issuing a new travel ban executive order on refugees and citizens from 7 mainly Muslim countries, even as his older order flounders in courts. Well, Trump on board Air Force One told reporters that he has no doubt that his administration will win legal challenges to the travel ban. However, Trump added that he was considering a brand new order that could be issued as soon as Monday or Tuesday. Now, Trump 2 weeks ago issued an executive order banning entry into the United States to refugees and citizens of 7 mainly Muslim majority countries, triggering nationwide protests and legal challenges. However, on Thursday, an appeals court refused to reinstate the travel ban, saying that the administration failed to offer any evidence to justify the ban, which the president says is crucial to keep the U.S. safe from terror attacks.
The unfortunate part is it takes time statutorily, so it takes a little time. We'll win that battle, but we also have a lot of other options, including just filing a brand new order on Monday. Could very well be, but I like to keep you, I'd like to surprise you. We need speed for reasons of security, so it could very well be that we do that.
And on to cricket now. Well, Bangladesh will resume the first innings at overnight score of 41-1 against India today at the Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium in Hyderabad. Well, on Friday, Tamim Iqbal on 24 and Momimul Ihaq were on the crease. Now, with the visitors trailing by 646 runs. Well, that's it from me and my team in this edition of News. But news and updates continue on Rajya Sabha television. Thanks for watching.